What drug did you take once and thought, nope, never again? I was a senior in high school when Hurricane Katrina hit. Our house got 6 feet of water, no fun. But, one night my friends and I went to the gutted out house to smoke some marijuana out of a buddy's hookah. Buddy failed to inform us he had recently glued the bowl back together. Well, the crew lost composure. 2 people fell off the dock into the bayou, and everyone started panicking that they'd get hypothermia, not gonna happen during Louisiana summer. So people leave, I drive a group to our next spot. My Pontiac Sunfire is now a spaceship. My buddy riding shotgun started cackling hysterically, yelling about rattlesnakes in the road, we don't got those, and the 2 in the back were talking about magic or some shit. We couldn't make it to our destination due to freaking out, so went to hang out in a grocery store parking lot till we regained composure. 10/10 would not smoke glue again. Salvia. It's a very short trip, but I felt so much physical discomfort, like my whole body was being shoved into a box, despite the fact that I was sitting in the grass with a group of friends. Apparently it's not an uncommon side effect of the drug. Topiramate, Topamax, a drug used to treat migraines and seizure disorders. I started developing a couple of the less common side effects, including facial numbness/tingling, visual disturbances, and most concerning to me, aphasia. The scariest thing about the aphasia is that it can be permanent. Sorry, but I'll deal with the headaches, which weren't even migraines, just a stress phase I was going through, and keep my words, thanks. Not a drug, but I was told I needed to take a fiber supplement, and went with the fiber pills. Then I went to the emergency room because I felt like I couldn't breathe within a few minutes of taking them. Fiber pills swell up easily with water, so they can end up feeling like they are sealing your throat. I now take fiber gummies, and actually enjoy having a little treat every day. OxyContin, shit was too relaxing and didn't last long. I had knee surgery and they gave it to me for the pain. I took it for a week, and when I wasn't on it I really wanted more. After a week of it I never wanted to touch that shit again. For me, meth. I did it once under the presumption that it was cocaine. It was not. I had to go to the hospital. I mean, I probably didn't have to. But at the time, I had only smoked weed. I didn't know how to deal with the increased heart rate and paranoia. For my friend, diphenhydramine aka Benadryl. He is a really hardcore tripper, and can handle inhuman amounts of psychedelic substances. But he said that the one drug he would never do again was Benadryl. He said that his experience had lots of spiders. I'm quite the psychonaut. So when I heard DPH was a thing, I of course had to try it. I did it way too many times, but the worst, absolute worst time was the last time I did it. I was in and out of consciousness and I was having such vivid dreams I had been Snapchatting my ex-girlfriend. I'd wake up and we were talking at the time, but not about what I thought it was, so I'd answer in some delirious manner. Fall back asleep and repeat. Eventually I started to sober down and my entire house was spinning around me and I couldn't move. Ambien. Woke up in my underwear on my neighbor's porch. My girlfriend was having trouble sleeping and her doctor gave her a prescription for Ambien. First couple of nights, no problem. Then I wake up one night and find her in the kitchen, all the burners on the stove turned on full. Semi-lucid, she said she wanted to make soup. I managed to get her back into bed. 2 nights after that, I wake up to find her out in the garage, in the car engine running, wearing just a pair of knickers. Said she needed to go to Albertsons because we didn't have peanut butter. She quit taking Ambien after that. For me it was coke. I'm a broke bitch, so after spending $80 for maybe an hour's worth of a high, I very quickly learned why it's called blow. You can blow through it and all your cash in a few days tops. Glad I got off that shit quick, woulda ruined me. For me it wasn't about the money, it was because I immediately knew I would be addicted for life. That shit is fucking awesome, and that's the reason it was one and done for me. It's been almost 35 years and I still remember that night like it was yesterday. Single-handedly the smartest decision I have ever made, and I was around people who continued to do it. Heroin. Too good. Knew it'd get its claws in me if I did it a second time. Meth. Did some once thinking it was coke, spent 2 days strung out and horny as hell. Never again. Percocet. It was in liquid form. I can totally see how people get addicted to that stuff. It's like a few minutes later the world turns into a beautiful place and your problems disappear. Benadryl. Took around 700 to 800 milligrams, like 25 or 30 pills, a while ago to trip. Not a good recreational drug. It's like how people who don't do drugs imagine acid to be like. I'd actually vividly see things and people that weren't there. I'd see people come in the room I was in and sit next to me on the couch, and I'd start having a conversation with them, only to blink and have them disappear. I'd get up and start filling up a cup of water and bam, I'd be back on the couch, never having gotten up. I don't remember most of the night, but my friends said I was just in a complete different world. They had some funny stories from it though. Apparently at one point I pulled my pants down and just said ants in my pants. My dad gave me a Dilaudid he had left over from his hip surgery because I had a sore neck. I felt an almost overwhelming sense of euphoria. I knew I could never take another one. Meth. I've taken prescription Adderall nearly my whole life, and I wanted to test all these people who told me you're just taking prescription meth. To say the least, I don't do either of them anymore. Trazodone for sure. I was in the hospital to get my heart fixed up and was having a hard time falling asleep. To this day no one is sure exactly what happened, if I was given too much or just had a bad reaction or what. But I remember laying there and thinking something wasn't right. I got up and just kinda wandered around trying to find a nurse. I was freezing but pretty sweaty too and couldn't really see or hear so well. And you know that feeling when you bang your funny bone? My whole body felt like that. The weirdest part was I kept realizing, oh man, I'm in trouble, and would start to panic, but then a second later I'd sorta forget and feel so serene. I remember a nurse running towards me, but she looked like she in slow motion, like we were underwater kinda. And I knew I had something really important to tell her but couldn't remember what it was. All I could think was how beautiful everything was, how the light was catching her hair and her sneakers squeaking across the floor sounded like a symphony. I remember smiling at her and juice kinda slumping against the wall, and then everything went dark. I woke up hooked up to a bunch of monitors with a lot of worried faces standing around. My blood pressure had dropped down to nothing, and if they hadn't found me when they did I probably woulda died. 6/10 experience. It was very beautiful, but they made me chug so much yellow Gatorade, and to this day that stuff makes me gag. Edit. Glad/sad to hear I'm not alone in whack experiences. W. Trazodone. That being said, I'm the furthest thing from a doctor, and, as far as I understand, my outcome was pretty rare. I've met a lot of people who've benefited from Trazodone for sleep/anxiety, and what happened to me was just sort of the perfect storm of drug sensitivity and underlying blood pressure issues. So talk to a doctor. Trazodone might be right for you, or kill you, again I don't know. DPT. People have referred to it as evil DMT, and that checks out. Imagine the psychedelic aspects of DMT, but it lasts for hours and you feel like you're also on meth. Good fucking luck sitting still for more than a millisecond. The visuals move at 1,000,000 miles an hour and it's really hard to get any semblance of reality. Basically you feel like you're in a crank movie and it feels like it goes on forever. Not fun. Also did a PCP analog once and that was obviously terrible. Didn't do enough to totally flip out. I was mostly confused and disoriented and nothing seemed real. I love ketamine, but this was different. Kinda similar to DPT, it was much more speedy than I would have preferred and it left me feeling scared and hopeless. Easy for me to see how enough of that shit will make someone go totally bananas. Finally, meth. Did it once by accident. Someone told me it was MDMA, and that come down, good lord. Just thinking about it gives me flashbacks. I don't really do drugs other than weed anymore, and that's probably for the best. Xanax. Took a bar at a friend's house. All I remember was watching Game of Thrones at a friend's house, then next thing I know I'm at my apartment and it's a day later. Wasn't a bad experience for anything, it was just alright and felt like a waste of time. Plenty of better drugs out there. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe if you are interested in more Reddit content. See you in next video.